This week I answer an email from a viewer who had a specific question about serving process when there's a large dog involved. Hi, Larry K, ShadowAnyone.com, and the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, Premium Private Investigator Training, from someone who's been there and done that. And the email question was, if you go to serve process on someone and there's a fence around the yard, a large dog, and as you approach, the dog, barks like crazy, alerts the people to the inside that you're there. How do you deal with this? And a little tongue-in-cheek, he said, "What do you bring some hamburger for the dog, or how do you handle this?" Well, this situation, it can come up, and similar ones to it. And the first thing you need to understand is when you're serving process, you have basically two categories of people that you're going to be serving. They're going to be friendly witnesses and hostile witnesses. Now, that's a vast oversimplification, and I don't even like the particular term friendly because those people could turn on you, and hostile because it's not necessarily that they're hostile, but that's just the general term we use for someone who's not pleased about being served or maybe even might be avoiding service. So if you're dealing in this particular situation with a friendly, and by the way, the vast majority of service packets that you'll serve people are friendly witnesses, friendly people, or people who are at least ambivalent about. Now, friendly people might be if the plaintiff is suing someone and the plaintiff has witnesses, friends who are around, those friends will still get a subpoena from the plaintiff's attorney. And they might be eager to show up in court and tell their side of the story and show how their friend, the plaintiff, was wronged by the evil bouncer or whatever the circumstance might be, an auto accident, how the other driver was driving like crazy. So you'll have service packets where you'll actually be bringing two people who are not opposed to showing up, maybe even eager to show up. There is another kind of middle category of those people who are a little bit ambivalent about it. They'd rather not deal with it. They'd rather not have to take the day off work. They'd rather not have to go testify, but they'll accept the papers like a decent citizen, and they will go jump through the hoops and do what they have to do. Then you have this category of kind of the hostile people, like I say, that are refusing service or very angry about the case. They don't think they should have to be there, or if they refuse service, things will go better for them. If you're dealing in the dog situation with the friendlies, then that's the type of thing where as the dog is barking, they'll probably look out the window or come to the door. They'll say something like, "Can I help you?" which really is, of course, code talk for, what's your problem? What are you doing here? And you can say, "Oh, I got some court papers here for you. If you want to come down and get them, or you want me to come up, or whatever." And, again, the friendlies or the decent citizens will hold on. They'll get the dog inside, and they'll come down to take them from you at the fence. They'll bring the dog in, let you come in the gate, bring up the papers to them. So, maybe if you're having real problems with that, you could even call. I'm not a big believer in calling ahead. I will occasionally do that. But you could, or if you're outside the house and the phone number in there, you can call in and explain. Now, if they're hostile, if they're trying to avoid service and the dog gives them a heads up, you see them look out the curtains, they don't come to the door, to the gate, that's a whole different thing. And I will generally, once now they know they're being served, I'll generally try a couple more times to try to serve them like a decent, upright citizen. I'll come back, I'll come to the gate, ring the bell, knock on the door, whatever. But here's more where you have to get a little bit tricky with it. In a circumstance like that, I will not even necessarily try to get past the dog. I don't necessarily need to. I can try to serve them when they go to work. I can serve them at work. Maybe I've served people in a bar, not ideal because they might be drinking, but if you can catch them early enough. You can serve people when they go for the gas station, the gasoline. You can serve them in a store. And I've even, occasionally served people right in an intersection. So this avoids the dog problem altogether. You may not find that exact circumstance with the fence and the dog and that. What you will find a lot, or what I have found a lot, is when you knock on the door and they shut off the TV and they drop behind the couch and pretend like they're not home. That essentially becomes the same problem as the dog with the fence, right? you're just not going to be able to get access to them. So again, you fall back to this thing where you might have to do a little surveillance, you might have to follow them, or you might just have to look at an alternate place that you can serve them. And all of those are valid answers. If you've got the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Surveillance, you know I have some tricks and tips and techniques in there that will make serve this type of person much, much easier. If you're interested in that, be sure to check it out over at shadowanyone.com/ps. In the meantime, I wish you the best of luck with any kind of serve like that. If you have more questions or questions like that, or any questions about private investigation work, process serving, anything, accident investigation, feel free to send them to me. I'll be happy to answer them for you. This is Larry K. with shadowanyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.